Yo, what's up, peoples? CRimZ here with a battle for you guys. This battle is versus ScHoGuX in advanced NU, because ScHoGuX hit me up being like, yo, let's play NU like real men, and I was like, alright, cool, I'm down for that, I guess. And he leads with Murkrow, I lead with Mawile. Really, I led with Mawile only because I felt like either A, he would lead with a Glalie to try and set up spikes, or B, he would lead with a choice-banded flying type of some sorts, either it would be Pidgeot or Murkrow, and I actually was right. And he led off with the Murkrow. Goes for the HP Fighting or the HP Ground, whichever one it is. Doesn't really do that much for it being choice banded, and then I got a Baton Pass into Glalie, which will obviously force the switch on the Murkrow, giving me a free layer of spikes. And he does send in his own Glalie, which is kind of strange because Glalie isn't even a very used Pokemon in NU. In fact, no Spiker really is. But it just so happens we both had it. But I mean, I kind of assumed he did because I know ScHoGuX and he always has spikes on his team. But I don't want to just like herp derp set up 3 layers of spikes only for mine to get possibly Rapid Spin away because I don't have Rapid Spin. And again, knowing ScHoGuX, he probably does have a random ass Rapid Spinner in a form of Torkoal, which he just sent in on my Mawile, which is kind of annoying because Mawile is my kind of check dealer thing with his Spiker, but then he can send in his Spinner on Mawile for free. Almost, so that's kind of annoying. But I just decided to Baton Pass away into Dugong, which takes the Fire Blast pretty nicely due to the fact that it has a very good special defense stat, and it has a thick fat, which is very nice. And, you know, I can pretty much do whatever I want. This is obviously going to force the switch out because I don't think he would want to lose his Rapid Spin or too early, so I decided to go for the Toxic, predicting the switch into some sort of water type, or even his Murkrow wouldn't even be that bad, or really anything that isn't Mawile. I wouldn't assume he would send in Mawile, or a Poison type for that matter, so I just went for Toxic. Turns out I hit the Minun, which is actually a Plusle, because logic. And I decided to switch up because obviously I don't want to take a Thunderbolt or anything from a Plusle who does have like 105 base special attack or something like that, 95, 105, something ridiculously strong is for NU. And I'm a Chimecho, and Chimecho is pretty bulky, especially, and it almost 2-shots. And I'm like, what the hell kind of Plusle is this? Obviously, it has to be modest. Like, I couldn't see it as any other nature, because this thing is wrecking me. Thankfully, though, I do have the light screen on this thing, and I'm fairly certain after Leftovers, I'm able to take another, or at least it seems like I would take another Thunderbolt. So I knew he was probably going to switch out, because I don't think he'd want, you know, toxic damage to rack up or anything like that, especially when spikes are on the field. So he goes on a Murkrow. I actually do predict that, because if I had any attacking move, it would be Psychic. So if, you know, if he was going to switch, he'd go into something that's immune to Psychic, which I've already seen Murkrow, so why not go into Murkrow? So I double switch into Glalie. Glalie's obviously going to force out the Murkrow again as I go for another layer of spikes. And pretty much this is just a repeat of turn 1. And to keep that theme running, I actually do exactly a repeat of turn 2 and switch into Mawile as he goes for spikes on the switch. Because I feel like at this point he realizes I don't have a Rapid Spinner and he does, so him putting up spikes is much better than me putting up spikes, so I don't want to, you know, just stay in, as I said, just for them to possibly get Rapid Spin away. So at this point I felt like he wasn't going to stay in, but even if he did stay in, going for Sludge Bomb wouldn't be that bad. So I decided to go for Sludge Bomb here because either A, I could poison whatever he switches in as it has 30% chance, or I could just, you know, do some damage on the Glalie, at least put it into range where either a Haunter or Pidgeot could take it out. But it doesn't get the poison, which is whatever, I guess. He goes for Earthquake, which does nothing really because of the Intimidate. And then here I go for HP Steel because I felt like if he was going to go into Plusle, like the only thing he could switch in that would be bad would either be the Pokemon I don't know of or his Torkoal. And I don't think he would want to go into Torkoal for the chance of being poisoned. So I went for HP Steel, and I knew that if I went for HP Steel, the Toxic and the Spikes would be able to be enough that HP Steel would knock out the Plusle, which is exactly what happened. So, afterwards he goes into his Pimp, and I knew I could take an HP Ground because I am like 200 something EVs in defense and like max HP, and I decided to Baton Pass, and the reason I did that was because since spikes are up, I could send in Mawile, because this is how it worked in Gen 3, where I could send in Mawile, it would die to spikes and it would skip your opponent's turn, like their attack just wouldn't happen. That's just how it was in Gen 3 and under. So I decided to Baton Pass, keep it as Switch Fodder, as they call it, and I went to Haunter. Haunter went for the T-Bolt. He has a random-ass Beedrill, I don't know why, but it used Endure, and then it had a Slackberry, and really, I decided to use my Switch Fodder on this, because I didn't want Beedrill to like randomly go for HP Ghost and like Haunter dies, because that would just be stupid. So I do that right now. As you can clearly see, the Beedrill doesn't do anything, just because, like I said, that's just how it was. Go into Pidgeot and go for the quick attack, because I know that would, you know, it's not like a Beedrill has priority or anything, so it dies, and then he goes back into Torkoal. So here, I felt he was either going to go for Toxic or Rapid Spin, so I decided to go back into Haunter to absorb either of those moves. Turns out he actually goes for Return, I guess predicting the Dugong to like sponge this fire attack or something, whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter at that point. But I do go for the T-Bolt, and T-Bolt does like very lackluster damage, even though it's on a Torkoal. Like, I know it's just a Haunter, and you know, I don't have Life Orb or anything ridiculous like that in Gen 3, but I mean, and Fire Blast did like way too much damage to me. So I was just like, you know what, screw this, I'm just gonna go for the Destiny Bond, because Destiny Bond on Haunter is much better than Explosion on Haunter, because Haunter has like absolutely no attack compared to Gengar's like somewhat okay, decent Explosion attack. So I just Destiny Bond. ScHoGuX didn't see it coming at all, and then yeah, Torkoal dies. So now I don't really have to worry about the Rapid Spin, and really at this point I think it's, you know, late in the game enough where I'm probably not even going to set up more spikes anyway. So he goes into Huntail, and I go into Pidgeot. And I decided to go for the Double Edge because I was fairly certain this wasn't going to kill, but I thought he was going to go for Rain Dance. Turns out I crit, which is pretty nice, I guess. And I just take it out. And at this point, without his Huntail, I pretty much just wreck the rest of his team with my Pidgeot. If I didn't get that crit, he probably would have taken about 80-85% from the Double Edge. But Ice Beam at the HP I was at after my Double Edge would have had like a 1 in 4 or 3 in 4 chance of killing. But obviously, if I didn't crit, I'd take less recoil. So it would be about a 50-50 chance for Ice Beam to kill afterwards. And honestly, I'm not even sure if he could sweep me afterwards. And I mean, whatever, crits happen. It was like literally the only hacks in this entire game, which is pretty nice. But I don't know. I felt like I still had Dugong, I still had Satan. Both of which could actually, well, at least Satan could explode, so there's that. Chimecho was pretty much death fodder. It was pretty much just light screen reflect fodder against the Glalie whenever it would send in. But the crit happened, so that just made everything easier. So I win 3-0, and that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed and such, and that's it. So hopefully I just get, you know, more battles, because, you know, all I have to play Gen 3 with is ScHoGuX and Ace, and, you know, beating their asses over and over again is not fun. So if you play Gen 3 or want to get into it or something, then, you know, hit me up on Skype, @CRimZ Cobra, and I'll probably add you to a group or something, and we'll play Gen 3 and stuff. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys.